Recently, a striking incident occurred in the global trade community. A cargo ship traveling from China to Pakistan was intercepted and detained while passing through Indian waters. However, the reason given by India for the detention was that the ship carried so-called sensitive materials. This incident aroused strong dissatisfaction in China. In fact, this is not the first time India has taken such action. In this video, we will delve into India's real motives for intercepting and seizing a Chinese cargo ship, as well as the countermeasures China may take. If you like our video content, please click to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can receive all our latest video content. Now, let's get into today's topic. As we all know, China and Pakistan have established close cooperation and friendship. Against this background, investment and trade exchanges between the two sides are also very frequent. Taking 2021 data as an example, China-Pakistan trade volume reached $27.82 billion, a year-on-year increase of 59.1%. Among them, China's exports to Pakistan were $24.23 billion. By 2022, China-Pakistan trade volume will reach $26.5 billion. Although there has been a decline, it is not difficult to see that China and Pakistan maintain good relations and there are frequent transactions of goods between the two parties. In these transactions, shipping became an important mode of transportation for both countries. But on March 2nd this year, Indian customs suddenly intercepted a merchant ship from China. As far as I know, this cargo ship flying the Maltese flag is sailing normally along the route from China to Karachi port in Pakistan. At the time, the ship's containers contained only ordinary industrial equipment and parts. However, when the ship approached Indian territorial waters, Indian customs suddenly and forcefully intercepted it. What is even more shocking is that Indian customs actually accused the ship of carrying materials used to manufacture Pakistani nuclear weapons and missiles. However, the merchant ship was actually transporting an industrial autoclave used in manufacturing production. So, why did India consider this to be sensitive material? In fact, this is because India views Pakistan as its regional competitor and is highly wary of Pakistan's military capabilities. Under such circumstances, India may be concerned that these materials may be used by Pakistan for military purposes, especially technology and equipment related to nuclear weapons or missiles. According to the conclusion of Indian experts, this industrial autoclave can be used to manufacture rocket engines for ultra-long-range missiles or satellites. An anonymous Indian official said, autoclaves can be used to manufacture long-range missile engines with a range of more than 1,500 kilometers and can even be used to build rocket engines for launching satellites. The official further pointed out that Pakistan happens to possess Shaheen-2 missiles with a range of 1,500 kilometers to 2,000 kilometers. As a result, Indian officials concluded that nuclear ties existed between China and Pakistan and notified the United Nations to expose nuclear proliferation links between China and Pakistan. It is worth mentioning that there are still strong voices against Pakistan in India. However, considering many public opinion factors, Indian customs finally made the irrational act of detaining a Chinese merchant ship in order to encourage domestic populist sentiments. Therefore, India finally determined that this merchant ship was transporting sensitive materials. However, as a responsible major country, China has always strictly implemented its international nonproliferation obligations and relevant international commitments. After understanding, the seized goods were heat treatment furnace shell systems produced by a Chinese private company. They were not military supplies at all, nor were they dual-use items subject to China's nonproliferation and export controls. The Chinese merchant ships and cargo owners truthfully reported to the Indian competent authorities in advance, and there was no concealment or false declaration. This response clearly shows that this is just excessive concern on the part of India. Interestingly, India's accusations have triggered widespread controversy internationally. Many countries have strongly demanded that India provide evidence, otherwise it should immediately and unconditionally release the detained Chinese merchant ships. After all, the seizure of a foreign ship that was sailing in good faith is a serious violation of international law, and India refused to provide any evidence to support their accusations. You should know that in the international community, it is extremely immoral and dangerous to arbitrarily accuse other countries of transporting arms supplies without conclusive evidence as a basis. Regrettably, this is not the first time that India has intercepted a Chinese merchant ship for no reason. As early as 2020, India detained a Chinese cargo ship for several months on the grounds that it found suspicious items similar to missile composite linings. As far as I know, this cargo ship originated from Jiangyin port in China and was destined to Port Qasim, Karachi, Pakistan. According to port sources, the cargo ship docked at Kandla port in India and began to unload some of its cargo. Subsequently, Indian customs discovered a suspicious device on the cargo ship and therefore seized the cargo ship. Although India believes that this device can be used to manufacture composite linings for missiles. But in fact, this material is a military-civilian dual-use material, and its application in the civilian industry is more extensive. At that time, the Chinese government made serious representations many times to request release, but the Indian side ignored China's warnings. It was not until China announced the launch of international arbitration that India reluctantly released the cargo ship. So, now faced with multiple provocations from Indian customs, how will China fight back? In fact, China is by no means a country that abuses power. Generally speaking, disputes between countries are usually arbitrated through the intervention of international institutions. In order to resolve this matter peacefully, China can use the support of the international community to push India to reconsider its behavior and prompt it to take active resolution measures. As China's international influence continues to increase, China's legitimate interests are increasingly valued by the international community. After this year's seizure of a cargo ship, many countries expressed support for China's position and unanimously condemned India's unreasonable behavior. This has led to a certain degree of stagnation in India's overseas cooperation negotiations. This support and condemnation also provides China with a stronger negotiating position and bargaining chip, making it more confident when dealing with disputes with India.